My name is Rakesh Kaul, and I was supposed to be here with my colleagues Rhbs and Dr. Siu. Unfortunately, I was called to a very urgent meeting with the regulator, which I cannot avoid. I am requesting my colleague Badrul to come and share his story with all of you. And any questions that you may have specifically for me, please let my colleagues in HR know, and I promise to answer them through a Zoom session with all of you. Sorry again, apologies for this meeting all of you, and have a great session and all the best to all of you.
Hi everybody, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Malaysian Virtual Career Fair. Today we are privileged to be at RHB Bank. I am Nada Marie, your moderator for the evening from Grad 1. So my panelists for today's session is we have Dr. Siu Chan Siong from who is the Group Chief Strategy Officer. We have Encik Rahmat Roslan bin Hashim, who is the Group Chief Human Resource Officer, and over there we have Encik Badrul, who is the Head of Deposit Distribution. So we'll be talking a bit more about the skills to stay relevant post-COVID. So I know a lot of you are are rather lost because this pandemic has just suddenly fall upon all of us. So today we're very, very lucky to have our esteemed senior leaders from RHB to give us a little bit of an insider view and tip about how to survive and excel to stay relevant during this time. So maybe we can start with Dr. Siu. Could you share with us a little bit about your journey?
Sure. Hi, good afternoon. So I'm the Group Chief Strategy Officer of the bank. I joined the bank about a year ago, actually it's May 2019. Okay. So I'm fairly new to the bank. Before that, I was a consultant. So I graduated with engineering degree. I got my bachelor degree and my PhD in mechanical engineering in the UK. I stayed in the UK for about 18 years after my graduation. So I was a mechanical engineer for about 8 years. Oh. And then after that, I did an MBA in London Business School. Then I joined a consulting firm, a strategy consulting firm. That's how I changed my career from being an engineer to be a consultant. And most of my clients are banking or financial services companies globally in the UK, in Asia, and I spent a lot of time traveling between different places, UK, Hong Kong, India, US, and so on. Wow. So I came back to Malaysia about 6 years ago, and then decided that rather just being a consultant, I also like to be in managing the bank. Yes. So hence I joined RHB about a year ago.
That's really interesting. I think it's really an eye-opener for a lot of the viewers because of your background and where you are today. It shows, that it doesn't really, the skills that you learn along the way can actually push you further. It's not supposed to hold you back or make you worried about what to do. Encik Rahmat, could you share with us your journey and also what you do at the bank?
All right. Hi. Thanks, Nadia. Good afternoon all. As mentioned, my name is Rahmat. If Dr. Siu is fairly new, I'm very new. I joined the bank, this is my third week, to be frank with you. This is my third week, but banking industry is not new to me. And prior to this, I was from Standard Chartered Bank, and before that, I was from Citibank. So this is my third banking. Yeah. But I have covered most of the important industries like FMCGs and manufacturing, and also trading. So I started my career while doing my MBA in America. I see. Right? Specifically in Los Angeles. So I stayed there not as long as Dr. Siu, but at least a solid 13 years there. Yes. And worked there started off with a commodity trader, and while doing my MBA, of course. Yeah. Then I came back, joined the manufacturing. It's a Japanese firm. And I started off with as an international marketing division, right? So the first project was to bring back to bring the marketing division from Osaka, Japan, to Malaysia. That was the first project. Then I moved on to FMCG. That's where at the tail end of the manufacturing, I joined human resource. It doesn't limit me. I graduated from my MBA in international business, my bachelor degree in business management and marketing. Then I pursue in Citibank and so on until I'm here today. It's a colorful journey.
Yeah, it's very, very
colorful
interesting.
journey. Yeah. No regrets.
Badru?
Hi, everyone. My name is Badro. I'm the head of deposits. I'm basically the oldest among the two esteemed gentlemen here. And okay, what I do, you see this book that I'm holding is very interesting. It's written there, trust me, I'm an accountant. basically, I'm by background, I studied in UK, graduated from UK University, and I pursued my study in as a chartered certified accountant from in London. I stayed in London for 6 years before I came back in 1998 during economic crisis. So basically, it was an interesting time where an accountant started to find a job, and I found that working in banking is pretty much interesting. So I spent about 17 years doing financial planning, certified from London Securities Institute to give financial advice on investment, and also a certified financial planner. Being an accountant and financial planner is closely related. And then I started my career as a management trainee, where I understand the entire bank, retail bank perspective, how it works. And thereon, I basically took up few job and responsibilities from few banks. And this is the latest position that I'm holding, basically head of deposit sales, where you can see not many accountants willing to do sales, but I'm one of them. So that's pretty much about me.
It's interesting because a lot of the young ones nowadays are always so afraid of sales, but you look like you are, the way you speak about it, it's as if you really enjoy what you do. So yeah. So Encik Rahmat, I'm going to ask you the first question. I know you haven't been in RHB for that long, but because you've had such an extensive career, you would know the difference in the different companies that you've been in. So how would you describe the company culture in RHB Bank?
Well, I mean, to be frank, I'm positively surprised. I use the word underline. Positively surprised that quite a number of elements in RHB today, whether it's working culture, the product, how people work together, is at par or to some extent exceeded the multinational company. I'm talking about banking, FI.
Yes.
Right? I'm not comparing with other industry.
Yeah.
So that is an eye-opener to me, because you came from an international, global company, you're listing that global is always there, but it's not entirely true, But in RHB, one thing, there's a lot of opportunity at the same time, They have all the products, they have all the way they works, it's at par with international. Therefore, assimilation for me is,
easy.
I would say, is quite natural.
Yeah.
You're just trying to know the people and the way around, that's all. So it cuts short the whole process.
The whole process.
Yeah.
I always feel that the culture of the company is shaped by the people inside.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's good that when you met the people and you're all working together as a team, you actually you drive each other, and it's really good that it's positive over here. Dr. Seo, you were sharing a bit about your your industry, about your background. It's always been very heavy on engineering, right? Can you tell us a bit about the transition in change? Like, why did you suddenly decide to go into strategy and consulting when your background? Why didn't you actually, further the engineering path? And would you recommend this journey for others who are not sure of what to pursue? Something different from what they studied.
Well, I'm not sure my journey will be, the best one for everybody, right? But I think everybody will have their own mind and think about what's the best journey for them. I think with the current environment, maybe I also share about my own journey and how it's actually transitioned. In fact, it's very relevant to the previous 3 financial crises. Just to give you a bit of background, right? So I graduated my bachelor degree in 1998. I graduated my PhD in year 2001. I graduated my MBA in year 2010. Now, for those that actually have gone through the last 3 crises, will actually find it quite easily connected to the 3 events, right? So 98, 97, Asian financial crisis. Year 2001, 911, That's actually also trigger the tech bubble crisis. Global financial crisis in 2008, and obviously it actually spilled over to the 2010 as well. So almost in the last 3 crises, actually I just sort of finished my study, which is actually a lot of you today actually is actually facing the same situation. Now, the way that I go through it and think about how to adjust myself, right, was when I graduated my undergraduate, right, I was thinking about, even before that, I was thinking about actually it's probably not enough. I like to equip myself better. And it was just happened that, that was a crisis time, and I think that it would be difficult for me to come back to Malaysia to get a job. Then I was thinking about, all right, then perhaps I think about other options, right? Further study to better equip myself when the economy recovers, then I will be well prepared. And luckily, I managed to get a scholarships, and then I continued my PhD. And who knows, after 3 years, there was another financial crisis. So that's life, right? You'll never be able to plan. But then what happened was, during that time, it was very, very difficult for me to really get a job. Especially I was in the UK, and we'd require a work permit to join it. But I think what I did was I tried to find a niche, my own niche. For example, my project, my research project was very relevant to a particular company because it was sponsored by a particular company in a particular sector. Hence, my focus will be more on that particular sector. So my intention wasn't to get the money. My intention was just to gain experience first. I think this is where perhaps some of you can think about, right? So while you're trying to overcome the challenges, I think you need to be clear about what you're trying to achieve. Some people, because they have a big loan, so they maybe actually wants to actually get something that can help them to pay off the loan first. So it may not be the particular sector that you are interested in. Some, obviously, you're more interested in the sector or the skill set you want to build on. So I think that would be what I would suggest, right? And also that's the way that I'm thinking about on my whole journey. So when I graduated, I want to actually leverage on what I've learned in engineering. So I become an engineer, I become a chartered engineer. But within myself, I always think that I can do more than just being a technical person. Actually, I enjoy doing management, I enjoy doing business. So hence, I decided to go to do an MBA and self-funded it. It was a big investment. And then by then, that gave me a transition to build on my technical foundation and to basically involve in more business. That actually has been a very good investment for myself because I now enjoy doing what I'm doing, and then it basically led me to my current position. So that transition actually is actually not guided by money, but it's more guided by what actually I'm passionate about, what I enjoy doing.
You have to be true to yourself, right? And then it will show. So you actually invested in yourself. Actually, so for those listening, it's important to actually understand or take some time during this pandemic to think about what you want to do and where your skills are, and then pursue them like what you did. You found the niche in yourself, and then you went for it.
But sometimes I think we just have to be flexible, right? Not
Yes,
always
yes.
you will be able to find a job is
That's
perfect for
perfect,
you.
yes.
But I think the objective is not to be perfect for you, but what are you going to learn from that, right? Are you going to build experience? It may not be the direct relevant to the industry that you are studying. Let's say you are an engineer, it may not be going to oil and gas, right? Yes. But whatever it is, the life experience is always relevant. The social skills that you develop, the experience, how you solve problems, I think all those things are relevant for any jobs that you're going to go to.
To all of our viewers, please keep on dropping in questions because we'll have a Q&A at the end of this session. So if you have any burning questions that you want to ask, so just type it in and then we'll address them soon. So, Encik Badrul, so I think a lot of the graduates now are wondering how do they start with their life savings, because you know how the economic situation is, and they don't know how to actually plan their life right now. Maybe you can give some expert advice.
Sure, thanks for the questions. Basically, in financial planning, it's pretty simple. It's not supposed to be that complicated. When you start working, the first thing is that you have to start small. You don't have to wait for you to earn a certain amount of salary before you start saving. A small amount of money would do. Most of the time, the young graduates, the first thing they like to have is to have credit cards. And this is where the debt capitalization will start from. And I mean, as a saving habit, the first thing is start small, set aside a certain amount of money. Maybe you do it every day. If I set aside 10 ringgit every day and put in one box, by end of the year, you should have 3,650 ringgit in that account. At least that's something for you to use it for traveling or small gathering with friends. The other thing is that whenever you incur the credit card debt, you have to pay it. You have to pay to the maximum as you could, because the interest rate that you pay for credit card is extremely high. And the other thing is that when you start to have a saving account, try to have two types of account. The first one is for you to spend the money, the other one for you to save. If you put everything in one account, there's a highly likelihood that you're going to use out everything and something you cross the line. The other thing is that I guess the next step to do is to find, set an objective. What is the purpose for you to save the money? If you enjoy traveling, most people, they will spend using a credit cards. When they come back, they start to pay for it. Or you rather save the money first, and thereafter you use out the money when you travel. Or you save the money as a deposit to buy a car or deposit to buy a house. So I guess those little simple habits will help you to start off your financial planning at an early stage. And don't forget that to start buying, start considering buying some protection product in light of insurance, because medical costs can be very, very expensive. Or you only buy medical insurance after you reach a certain age, and that's going to be very, very expensive. So these are the basic financial planning and the basic things as a graduate, how you start to plan for the future.
Thank you so much, Padrul. Rahmat, I would like to ask you, so with the pandemic in mind right now, there's a lot of changes happening in the business, in the banking industry. What are some skills that you think graduates should have, to stay agile? And also, like, what type of quality of graduates are you looking for specifically for RHB Bank?
All right, good question. Yeah, my view on pandemic, we call it COVID-19, right? It's an opportunity actually. There's a reason behind it, and if you see opportunity, then the opportunity will be there in front of you. So never think negatively about the whole pandemic. Look at the positive side. As a bank, the requirement, you're talking about new norms now.
Correct.
All right. So we need to revamp the expectation. We need to revamp the way we do things.
Our mindset.
We need to probably tweak a little bit of our corporate culture to accommodate the new norms.
Correct.
And the most important thing, what type of people we require may be different. Firstly, fundamentally, it's about agility, flexibility, adaptability. These are all the keywords.
The keywords, yes.
That's the buzzword. So, for example, if you graduate in accounting, just like Badrul just mentioned, for example, right? Doesn't mean you have to stick to accounting as your career, right? So you need to be flexible and highly adaptive in today's environment. So the quality is that, first of all, you need to be adaptive in the environment. Don't stick to one. Secondly, for the organization, we need to take a look at the future product. For example, like today, right now, normally on conventional way is that you book a hotel convention.
Correct.
To have such thing, right?
Yes. And
now
we're supposed to be in London, and now we are here.
We are here, and people are viewing from anywhere part of the world, right?
Yes.
So this is also, when we look into cost efficiency, there's a lot of elements that in a way, opportunities, cost saving for the bank, cost saving for the individual, that out. So the people have to look at it in a different way, in a positive way. For the graduates, young graduates that coming in, we need this is the future generation of workforce, which RHB is looking into this very seriously. In fact, we are looking into the next generation of workforce. They can be anywhere in the world, but they are doing things for the organization, for RHB in this case. We don't expect people to be right in front.
It's borderless now.
Borderless, and you don't have to be in front of me. At the end of the day, you are being measured by the output, quality output, not the number of hours you clock.
Which is how it should be, right? Productivity.
Exactly. So look, going back to this pandemic, it's more positive.
True.
You know, for both parties, individual and the organization.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Seo, I wanted to ask, speaking about agility, what advice would you give young talent taking the current situation about being agile, especially in your department?
So I think, as what Rahman mentioned, right, we all have to be flexible because the environment is changing, right? If we don't change ourselves, we will be left behind, right? I think that's the nature of it. I think, but we need to have some core, I would say core values and core characteristics that should not change, right? And I think that's very important for us to be, to progress, to continue to progress. May not be very successful, but at least we want progress and development. So like what Rahman mentioned, right, the key things that we are really looking for is actually the soft part, not only the hard part. Hard part will be your technical skill, like you have a very high marks for accounting, you have very high marks for finance, for maths and so on, right? That's the hard part. It doesn't have to be a 99% sort of A-star candidate, but fundamentally you need to be someone that actually always looking for better. You need to continue to improve yourself. Now, if that's your fundamental objective, right, then it doesn't matter whether you go into engineering job or you go into being temporarily to be a taxi driver, or be an accountant or so on, right? Because your objective is, this actually is a platform for me to be better next time. So I think that's the fundamental agility mindset that we need to have, number one, right? Number two is, you also need to think about how to benefit someone, not only to benefit myself, right? So you get a job, right? It's not only to get paid and then I go back from 9 to 5, right? I'm here to help, for example, within my influence level, I'm going to help this company to do these things better, right? If let's say, I'm going to be a temporary taxi driver, right? I want to make sure that my ride for my customers is going to be safe and comfortable. So as long as you put someone's in mind as well, right? Rather than only thinking about myself, then you have an objective to be better, and then people will appreciate that eventually. May not be everybody appreciate that, but I think overall, right, you will have more people that appreciate, and then you have a value. So if you think about that way, then you can be more flexible and agile. Doesn't matter that you get what you want immediately, but you're actually in a process and slowly getting to something that you enjoy doing, and then I think the financial benefits will come.
Naturally, right?
That's right.
The impact that you do and how you affect the other people.
Absolutely, I think that's the right word, right? The impact,
Yes.
right? The impact the positive impact that you're gonna give to the people around you.
I have one last question for Encik Badru before we go to Q&A. So Encik Badru, this is a big one. How do you think banking will change post-COVID?
Well, that's pretty interesting because during COVID time, people like us are coming back to the office and start to do work differently. I guess interesting what Dr. Seo said, mentioned just now. A few times he said being flexible, and then that's quite key word. We're talking about regardless the discipline that you are going through currently. You can be engineering background, you can be accountancy background, business study, law, etc., etc. It's also about being flexible and adapting to the new things. Well, I guess there's a new norms. What Sheikh mentioned earlier on. Basically, this is about how do we adapting to the new way of doing things, and how digital come into picture. This is digitalization transformation or revolutions that we say. And post-COVID, basically even during COVID time, during the MCO time, we basically start to change ourselves, start to relook into the process. How do we look into the customer journey? It's all about how actually ensuring we look at the customer perspective. Being a banker, we always feel that it's always brick and mortar where customer walks into the branch and start to perform transactions. And because of the COVID, people no longer walk into the branch.
Yes.
So how do we reach out to customer? How do we reinvent ourselves to make sure we stay relevant? because we can see in the past a lot of companies or successful company, the biggest in the world, they basically fall behind and they eventually close down because are unable to compete, unable to keep themselves updated with the change. So we do change a lot. We're looking at the customer journey. Every day we sit down and the agile concept they're practicing in RHB. Basically, we are looking at the customer journey. Every things that we do, we're always with the customer in mind. So this journey that we had currently is going to be ongoing. We're going to continue to change and keep changing to ensure that our customer will be happy with us. I mean, this is where we start to look at a new approach. How do we handle our customer differently? How do we serve our customer without them need to go out to go to the branch and come and see us? And we are using digital at all possible ways to ensure that they get the best service by just staying at home. And we are the banker is the one doing everything for them. Every transaction is just a matter of a click at their fingertips. So I guess this transformation is happening now and it's going to be more change in the future. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much. We're going to go straight to the Q&A. We've received your questions and we're going to be asking each of the panelists the questions and I hope they address them well. So I'll start with Encik Rahmat. So there's a question that says, being new and having a fresh eye on RHB today, what's your views on managing human capital and the rise of automation and robotics? And now a further challenge with the current pandemic. How or what do you think we need to prepare the workforce to adapt and be resilient?
Well, it depends whether you are existingly in a bank or you are outside about to join the organization. You know, let's tackle the existing people.
The current ones, yes.
That's, I think, more relevant to the question. First of all, those fresh, you need to prepare yourself.
Yes.
Right. Learning is a journey. It's a never ending until the day you die.
Yes,
you know? But it's a journey, right?
Yes.
But the existing people, transformation come into picture in many ways. You know, let's start off with the structure. At this point in time and moving forward, we are talking about looking at the structure. It has to be lean and mean.
Yes.
At the end of the day, no longer a span of control.
Correct.
As far as east-west, you know,
Yeah.
and the depth. You know, we need to shallow it or collapse into, you know, that makes sense.
That's, yeah.
So we need to reskill our people.
Yes.
We need to repurpose the
new,
job.
yes.
You know, so these are the areas that people need to understand. You know, because today's work, 10 years or probably 5 years from today may not be relevant.
Correct.
You know, they may do it in a different way.
Yeah.
So we, as an organization like RHB, we always need to think 5 years, 10 years
Ahead.
from now, you know,
Yeah.
ahead, by looking at the global standard, how things are working in European market, American market.
To be competitive all the time.
We have to be competitive.
Yeah.
Because RHB is also a regional player.
Correct.
You know, so from regional, the next step will be global.
Yeah.
You know, so where are we in our home country and the regional?
Yes.
You know, we have to look at a lot of factors, product, people itself,
Yes.
because the people will generate money.
Yes.
All right, the money doesn't generate by itself.
Correct.
You need human there.
Yeah.
But how big is the team is another question. So job enrichment, job content, reskill our existing people, repurposing the job content is important. See, if you look at Japanese company,
Yeah.
20 years back, during recession,
Yeah.
the traditional Japanese company like Panasonic or Matsushita, Sony,
Yeah.
they do not lay off people. Why? There is an opportunity where they reskill their people. Once the economy swing back, the people are ready for new product, new line setup. That's Japanese way. Whereas Western company, in particular American,
Yes.
they hire and fire easily.
Correct.
So these are the two things. But the Japanese was leading the way.
Yeah.
But today it will be a bit competitive because the economy of scales, again, the China, they are unable to compete.
Yeah.
All right. So that will be my response. I hope I answered the question.
I think you did, because there's a lot of different factors to be addressed during this thing, right? But you're right about having to always upskill and improve your own team because they have history and they have experience, so they'll be able to also enjoy the job more. Because along the way, it becomes, there's always a new challenge, If you do something for very long, sometimes there's,
It's like BAU.
Correct. Yes.
So as a graduate, we need some new challenges.
Correct.
Actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, just to add on that,
Yeah.
I think the time that where we have a 5-year roadmap, everything went well planned, and then we just follow the plan and hope that things will end up with the target. I think that sort of working pattern is gone.
Yes, I agree.
Right, especially in banking.
Yes.
Right, you'll find that not only every year. In fact, you'll find that every 2-3 months. In the business, things change.
Yes.
So we have to be ready, and like what Rhbs mentioned, right? The way that we organize and the way that we do things, right? I think people mindset have to be prepared that we cannot have a plan that doesn't change for 1 year.
Yep.
Because we can not change, but the environment have changed, right? So
Yeah.
we will lag behind if we don't be always look out what's happening outside and then adjust ourselves.
Yeah.
I think those are the things that, especially in banking, things moving very fast. I think that's very critical for us.
Yeah. So you also would need people who are able to change with the times, right?
Yep.
So Dr. Siu, as a person who came from a different educational background and eventually transitioned into what you're doing right now, how do you see a job seeker becoming flexible in the situation and also which also means applying for jobs that they think they can deliver even if it's different from their background?
So I think usually when you apply for a job, you say, how good am I?
Yes.
Right? I've done this, I'm best of this, and so on, right? So that's how you will usually start with. Yes. My suggestion is actually, like what's mentioned, right? You need to think about your customer. In this case, your customer is the employer.
Yes.
Right? So you need to do research to understand why do they actually need this job? What problem are they trying to solve, right?
And how can you?
Then you try to cater your experience, your skill set, right, to the job because they are your customers. Yes. So think about yourself as trying to sell your skill set and your experience. If you are selling something that they do not want, then the chances of getting them actually hiring you will be lower. Correct. So I think that will be the fundamental change of mindset. I think we will have to be more customer-centric, right? Yes. Assuming that they are your employer, you think about, do research on their companies, do research if you can, right? Not through online, talk to the people that may actually have experience either being the customer of the company or be a supplier of the company or any relationship that the people around you that may have experience with that particular company, and then cater your CV for that particular role. I think that's quite important.
So there is a formula to it, right? As in something like that, you need to just put yourself in the minds of the interviewer or something like that. What do they need and how can you then deliver that?
Yes, because ultimately as a recruiter, I have a vacancy because I have a job that needs to be done, and that job is usually associated with either a problems or something that I need to perform, right? So hence, it's a demand and supply discussion.
Yes, correct. Some very important tips there. Okay, so Cik Badrut, we have a question for you. As a fresh graduate, can you advise how they can actually improve their visibility? And especially since there's less physical and networking engagements now happening in Malaysia. So basically, because of how things are now, it's harder to sell yourself in front of an employer. So how do they then increase their visibility to you?
Well, that's pretty interesting. I would like to quote back what you mentioned just now about, have to look at from the employer perspective, why do they hire you at first place? It reminds me, I attended this career talk previously. I was in Sydney. So there's audience asking, how much the bank in Malaysia willing to pay, but the employer in Malaysia willing to pay them compared to the employer in Australia, which if you convert, will be a lot more. Yeah. But interesting enough, where I think it's not about how much, the employer willing to pay you, it's about how much you're worth to the employer. Right. Right. So if you're worth actually 5,000, then the employer will pay you 5,000. You're worth 10,000, will pay you 10,000. So how you create that visibility, basically, to stay relevant, regardless of whatever discipline you're coming from. I just hired somebody with an engineering background to be in my team. She basically previously worked in the finance department, and from engineer work in finance department, I took her in. regardless whether she really understands the job scope, but I look at the ability to adapt, the ability to learn, and how fast you can learn. So to show that you are capable, you must be able to demonstrate that you understand what the employer wants. And the second part is that the ability to show how fast you can adapt to the new environment, regardless whether you really understand the subject matter or not. That's secondary. The attitude actually is quite important to us.
I think those are very, very good and important points. So always think about the employer and how you can solve their problems, basically. So with that, we've come to the end of the first segment. Thank you so much to all of you. I think you've given very, very important and heavy insights that I think are much needed nowadays for the graduates who might not know how to navigate their journey now because they see COVID as a challenge instead of an opportunity, like what Encik Rahman mentioned. So before we end, is there any last advice or tips that you'd like to give the graduates? Maybe Encik Rahman, you can...
Well, first of all, never give up, stay relevant, be flexible, do not be rigid. And in working environment, break the silo. We in RHB, collaborative is important, teamwork is important, and acquire knowledge as much as possible and see things positively.
Okay, be positive.
That's what my father told me.
Okay, Encik Badru, any last words?
Well, I guess the first one is that you must be able to be honest. That's the most important part. Just be, be honest as possible, and you must show the energy. If you want somebody to hire you, you must have the energy. If you come in the interview or your conversation, you look pretty weak, regardless whatever skill that you have. I don't think that gives the chemistry, the right chemistry. So you must have that eagerness, the excitement. And the excitement is within yourself, so you must really willing to do something so much that the energy will come out and be as honest as possible.
So it seems that it's the old values that still stay true, right? Honesty, also positivity. So Dr. Siu, what would be your advice?
I think, I suppose many of you may think that this is a very difficult time, right, for us. My view is, if you think this is difficult, I think you haven't seen the life yet, right? Let's say you are in your 20s, right? If you live until 80s, right? You still have another 60 years of opportunity to be more difficult, right? So there's always more challenges in front of you. So don't give up. I think use it as an opportunity because there's nothing for you to lose, right? Because you cannot lose a job anyway because you haven't got a job. You got really nothing to lose. The only thing is going to be better. So that will be my advice.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. We'll be back soon. We're going for a short break and we'll be back to speak to our management associate from RHB Bank. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
At RHB, we strive towards making banking with us seamless, efficient and safe. We deliver these through RHB's complete and thorough solutions to customers. Here, we take pride in our people. It all starts with a team that cares. A workplace we call home. A team of dedicated individuals who go the extra mile. We offer accelerated growth and progression with focus on continuous learning experience coupled with regional mobility for holistic experience via our comprehensive talent management practice. We strive towards a high-performance culture that empowers you to deliver your true potential. We reward competitively, appreciating and valuing performance. We work together in a team as one RHB. We are result-oriented and focused towards success. We put our customer first by understanding their needs. While it is true that banking products are similar, it's our people and their service that makes us stand out against the rest. That's right, your role here is bigger than you realize. Each and every one of you has something unique and amazing to offer. It's because of you and your consistent effort to make things better that has led us to where we are today.
I was an intern with RHB Banking Group 4 years ago. RHB is an ideal place for me to embark on my career journey. RHB is a place where you strive towards a high-performance culture which helps you to discover your true potential.
But let's not stop there. Let's keep on going to become the best. Together, we will create a lasting impression with the people we serve. Together, we will make great happen. Together, we progress. Join us by submitting your application today. At RHB, we strive towards making banking with us seamless, efficient and safe. We deliver these through RHB's complete and thorough solutions to customers. Here, we take pride in our people. It all starts with a team that cares. A workplace we call home. A team of dedicated individuals who go the extra mile. We offer accelerated growth and progression with focus on continuous learning experience coupled with regional mobility for holistic experience via our comprehensive talent management practice. We strive towards a high-performance culture that empowers you to deliver your true potential. We reward competitively, appreciating and valuing performance. We work together in a team as one RHB. We are result-oriented and focused towards success. We put our customer first by understanding their needs. While it is true that banking products are similar, it's our people and their service that makes us stand out against the rest. That's right. Your role here is bigger than you realize. Each and every one of you has something unique and amazing to offer. It's because of you and your consistent effort to make things better that has led us to where we are today.
I was an intern with RHB Banking Group 4 years ago. RHB is an ideal place for me to embark on my career journey. RHB is a place where you strive towards a high-performance culture which helps you to discover your true potential.
But let's not stop there. Let's keep on going to become the best. Together, we will create a lasting impression with the people we serve. Together, we will make great happen. Together, we progress. Join us by submitting your application today.
Three, two, one.
Hi again, and we're back. So it was a lovely session just now with the senior leaders of RHB, and now we have the lovely Miss Chow Weni, who is a Management Associate in the Management Associate Program of RHB Bank. How are you, Weni?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for having me here today
No
to
problem.
share my experience.
It's a pleasure. Today, so we have you here just to give a little bit of an insight about the program that you're in and how is it. Maybe first you can just introduce yourself and what you do here at the bank.
Oh, okay. I graduated 2 years back in the UK, in University of Warwick, and I was majoring in accounting and finance. So I joined this program in 2018. So it has already been almost 2 years for me, and I'll be graduating soon this month, end of this month.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I've rotated to 4 different departments according to the RHB MA program. So one of the rotation, I actually able to go to a regional rotation, which is in Singapore.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was before COVID, I'm guessing.
Yeah, this is before COVID. That's something lucky for me. So for my first rotation, I went to corporate banking. Then the second one, I went to equity capital markets in Singapore. And the third one is group treasury global markets. And the last one, which is the department that I'm currently doing it, which is the asset management. Yep.
Do you enjoy doing what you're doing now?
You mean
in
in
this
asset
department?
management?
Yes.
Oh yes, yes. Because of the COVID-19, right? So before that, maybe I share what I'm doing in asset management. So
Yes.
I'm a bond credit analyst in asset management. So my line manager has actually assigned me to analyze about the banking sector. So because of the COVID-19 now, it actually, a lot of things have affects the banking sector in Malaysia. So for instance, like the moratorium, the interest rate, the OPR card, so it actually affects the bank. So it's an eye opener for me to actually observe this and able to participate in this COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, it's true what Rhbs mentioned just now, that we should take it as an opportunity instead of a nightmare or a challenge. So it's amazing how you said that you've actually learned a lot because of COVID and how it has changed things slightly. What is your biggest takeaway from the management training program?
The biggest takeaway from the management training program, I would say, is the network, because we have the opportunity to actually rotate to 4 different departments.
Yes.
So in every department, I get to interact and work with different people. So there's like 4 departments. So I actually meet many people.
What were the departments that you?
Okay. So the first one was in corporate banking. The second one is equity capital markets.
Okay.
And the third one is group treasury global markets. And the last one is asset management.
Which is your favorite?
Which one is my favorite?
Yeah.
Based on my interest and passion, I would say it's the corporate banking one.
Okay.
The reason being is that I enjoyed, after rotating to all these 4 departments, right, I find that I prefer a job that requires like analysis.
Yeah.
To write, because in corporate banking we do a lot of reports writing, and we have to analyze the companies, see whether are they financially stable enough to repay the debt that that RHB loaned to them. And then it also involves communicating with clients, and I love to help clients. I get the satisfaction after helping people. So
That's why you like it so much.
Yeah, I like it. I like the corporate banking.
I think it's a really special component of the program that you get to rotate, so that along the way you also realize where your passion lies.
Yes.
Because if you didn't try it out, I think you wouldn't have known this part of you, that you would sync the most with corporate banking.
Yes.
Yeah. So now that you have spent close to 2 years in the program, what is the most memorable part of it for you?
The most memorable part, I think it would be the MA community, because we have a very close MA community. When I joined the MA program, I was not scared, because I joined with a big batch of MA friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and also we have a lot of activities among the MA. So we have like the Melbourne Business School Leadership Program. We have a mentorship program. I think RHB really put the effort that they want to groom the MA as the future leaders.
I see.
Yeah.
So I mean, they really deliver it.
Yeah,
right? It's not just like when they tell you that they plan to do it, but you actually have been through it, through the whole process, and you realize that it's actually very beneficial to you. I wanted to ask, how do you think the program has actually contributed to your career today?
Okay, so as what mentioned just now, I get to rotate to 4 different departments.
Yeah.
Before that, when I remember when I first graduated from uni, I really don't know, I'm quite lost lah. I don't know where's my passion, where's my interest, what do I like. And then there's so many career options available outside in the market. So I don't know which one is suitable for me. So I think from this program, right, after you rotate from department to department, you do different things, and you start to know what you prefer more.
Yeah.
Like for example, in corporate banking, right, I do a lot of like report writing.
I see.
Whereas in equity capital markets, I do more on pitching decks.
Yes.
Like I do the with PowerPoints.
Yeah.
So I know like, maybe I prefer more on the report writing instead of the pitching decks. So you get to know your
get
interest.
a taste of everything.
Yeah, a taste of everything.
Which also helps you then develop your own personal growth, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you learn a lot of skills along the way.
Yes.
Yeah. So for those of you who were in or who are in Wenny's position right now, or where you don't know what to do, or you have questions for her because she's been through it and now she's actually come across to the other side, and I would say has accomplished a lot within the 2 years. Please continue dropping in questions so that Wenny can actually share some of her insights or her experience that maybe you can actually gain from. So Wenny, what do you feel is your best decision that has helped you get to where you are today? Whether it's to join the program, or whether it's within the 2 years, has there been a project or a pitch that you actually excelled in?
The best decision.
Yes.
Yes, I would say is to actually join the program.
Okay.
Yeah. So because of this program, I know where's my interests, and I also have a broad network, as what I said just now. Yeah, I get to meet different people, able to have a bunch of friends in RHB, and when I need advice, I know who to get from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think RHB MA program is really the best one.
Okay. Yeah, so saying that RHB's program is actually the best one, I'm sure when you were scouting for opportunities, like you said, there were so many that, were available. So what makes the RHB's graduate program different from the others, and why did you take it up,
To be honest, I think I didn't choose RHB, but instead it's RHB chosen me. Yeah, so back then I remember when I applied to so many jobs, I applied to a lot of audit companies, and I applied to a lot of banks. So because I'm studied accounting and finance, and these two industry,
your main focus.
Yeah, it's my main focus. Like when I asked my friends, they also applied to only these two companies.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of offer from the audit firms, but for banks, only RHB has accepted me. So actually, I would say is that RHB has accepted me and not I.
No, but it's a blessing because now you realize after so long that you're so happy here.
Yeah.
You've accomplished so much, and you actually know yourself better. So I think that's really good. So just so you know, we've actually started accepting questions from the viewers. So if you have more questions, please keep them coming. So I'm going to start with the burning questions. What does success look like in RHB or in the RHB graduate program? Whether it's for yourself or do you have anyone that you look up to? What is success in the program to you?
What is the success in the program?
Yeah.
For me, I think the success is the program is that when you get acknowledged by a line manager, because when you do 4 rotations, there's actually a lot of MAs you are doing with.
Yeah.
So I think the success is that when your line manager acknowledge you, and they say they welcome you to join back once you graduated from the program. I think that's a success.
It feels good, right?
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of competition in joining the preferred departments you want after the end of the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish you the best. I hope that you get what you like.
Thank you.
Okay. So as a fresh graduate, many of them are asking how important are their grades, CGPA, with regards to being selected for this program. Maybe you can share from your experience. Is it just about the grades, or is it more of a, all-rounder that they're looking for? Yeah, maybe you can share that one.
Maybe I can start from my application process. So when I applied for the job, I did the online test, and then I go for the interview. At that time, I still haven't actually get my result yet.
Okay.
So it's it's not a real offer letter lah. Then
It's a conditional
yeah,
offer,
it's a
right?
conditional
Yes.
offer letter, correct?
It's a real one.
Oh, it's a real one. Okay, yeah, it's a real one. Just that it's a conditional offer letter. So I got the conditional offer letter before I got my result. So I think
that shows how good you are.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I think it also see how's your performance when you are doing the interview, and also your online when you are doing your online test, etc. Yeah.
So, so the assessment was actually, it did test you on different aspects of your...
You mean the online test?
Yeah, the whole process.
Oh, the whole process. Yes, the whole process. But I didn't get to go for the assessment center, which I believe a lot of my Malaysian MAs has given a chance to go there, because at that time I was in the UK, so I cannot fly back to do the assessment. So I was...
It was a different method.
Yeah, it was a different method.
But it's not just about the grades. I mean, grades are important.
Yeah, grades are definitely important, but I think they also see a lot of factors, like how you perform in the interview, how you did your online test, and so on.
Yeah. Okay. What is the most challenging thing you faced in the program, and how have you overcome it?
The most challenging that I faced in the program?
Yes.
I think throughout the program, I always face a lot of things. Right now, currently, I'm working on something that I think is a challenging task for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm also a member of the RHB Youth Council. So right now we are working on a project of the International Youth Day, which is
next week.
on
the
next week.
12th
Yeah, next
of
week. Yeah, so the council actually assigned me to do a video. So I think it's quite challenging for me because I never do a video before.
So what's the video going to be about?
The
What
video
are you
is
doing
going.
for Youth Day?
The video is gonna be about to introduce our youth council because our youth council is fairly new in RHB. It was just established like 2 years back in 2018. So the video will be introducing about our youth council, what we do, and then letting more RHB know about us. So that's the challenging things for me, but I think I'll able to overcome with my teammates. It's a teamwork thing.
See, that's where it comes in, right? The people in the company and how you can always depend on each other. So you leverage on each other's skills.
And also the network, as I talked
that you
just now.
mentioned.
Yeah, so I'll be like asking maybe other departments for some advice, how to do the videos.
Yeah. So was your undergraduate degree relevant for this program, or like would you suggest that someone who didn't come from accounting and banking background, would they still be able to excel in the MA program?
I would say yes. I actually have a lot of MA friends who are not accounting finance background.
Yeah.
They are like psychology, some of them are like a lot like engineering, and it's still relevant because when you come to the RHB bank, you are start from fresh. You're doing things from new, you are learning new things, you're picking up new skill sets. But it's true that what I learned, some of it is still relevant. But if you do not have the background, it's okay. It's totally fine. You can start from new.
There'll be a lot of guidance.
Yeah, there are a lot of guidance from your line manager, your seniors.
Yeah. So all of I mean, for those listening, if you are interested in the program, but you are skeptical because you're worried that you don't have the right background, for example, but according to Wenny, and from our conversations earlier with the senior leaders, that shouldn't hold you back. You should still try and hopefully be part of the program. So just now, Wenny, you mentioned that there were 4 rotations that you did, right?
Yes.
Were you able to choose these departments, or how does that go? Or were they selected for you?
Okay. So for me, I've chosen the general MA program. I believe RHB have a lot of different types of MA programs. They have like the capital markets MA programs, they have finance MA. I believe now they have more. So for the general MA program, I'm able to choose the departments that I want to go to. So you can tell HR before the end of, like when you start joining, you can tell HR what is your first rotation. Then in the mid of the first rotation, you can let HR know what is your second options.
Is in your preference?
Yeah, your preference.
Oh, that's good.
However, it's still subject to the availability of the department.
Yeah.
So for the 4 rotation, I actually have no problem at all going, except for 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I got rejected by the department because they say they have too many MAs.
What department is that? Must be really most wanted department.
Yes, it is asset management actually.
Oh, okay.
For my second rotation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and then after that, I applied again for my 4th rotation, and I got it because you mean MAs
It's depending
come and
on
go.
the
Depends,
timing, right?
Yeah, it depends on the timing also. Yeah, true.
Okay, we have one last question from the audience, which is that what is your advice for fresh graduates that do not have experience in banking sector? Is it recommended for them to take on professional certificates, for example, to get further in the company? Like, there's a lot of professional degrees or professional certificates, especially because of what's happening out there. Would you recommend that?
For me, I would say for now, maybe no. Maybe you can first join the MA program first and you rotate to different departments because I believe different departments, they have different qualification needed. Yeah. So maybe you can try out different departments and see what you like and then ask for advice from your seniors or line manager whether is the profession necessary?
Yeah.
What kind of profession is needed for this role?
Because there's so many, right?
Yeah, there's so many.
So, so go in the program, talk to people, find out what is relevant, what is needed in that line that you're interested in to pursue. Basically, that's your advice. Okay. That's really interesting. So just before we wrap up, Winnie, I think you've shared a lot of insider information, especially for someone who, you know, was transitioning as a fresh graduate into a full-time employee of RHB. I wanted to ask, just before we end, if you have any advice for those who want to join, and what do you love most about RHB, basically?
Okay, what I love most about RHB. Okay, what I love most about RHB is the people, actually. I think the people are very friendly. When I joined the bank, on my first day, people ask me out for lunch, and then if I have any questions, I'm not scared to speak out and ask questions. And the seniors admins are also very nice. If I have any questions on the rotation, like if I want to know more about the different departments in the bank, I can always go to the senior MAs and ask. And also the HR is very supportive.
Yeah. It's all about the people, right?
Yes.
Once they make you feel comfortable, I feel that's when you also will be able to give your best and your all, because you feel like you're a team. Yeah. So for those of you who would like to join Team RHB, please do drop in your applications at the bottom of the chat. That's all the time we have today. Thank you so much, Winnie. I'm very, very sure that the audience were very happy with whatever you've shared, and I think you've given some clarity to them about the program. So thank you so much. So please do drop in your likes and your thank yous in the chat below. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you at the next session. Thank you.
Thank you.
At RHB, we strive towards making banking with us seamless, efficient and safe. We deliver these through RHB's complete and thorough solutions to customers. Here, we take pride in our people. It all starts with a team that cares. A workplace we call home. A team of dedicated individuals who go the extra mile. We offer accelerated growth and progression with focus on continuous learning experience coupled with regional mobility for holistic experience via our comprehensive talent management practice. We strive towards a high-performance culture that empowers you to deliver your true potential. We reward competitively, appreciating and valuing performance. We work together in a team as one RHB. We are result-oriented and focused towards success. We put our customer first by understanding their needs. While it is true that banking products are similar, it's our people and their service that makes us stand out against the rest. That's right. Your role here is bigger than you realize. Each and every one of you has something unique and amazing to offer. It's because of you and your consistent effort to make things better that has led us to where we are today.
I was an intern with RHB Banking Group 4 years ago. RHB is an ideal place for me to embark on my career journey. RHB is a place where you strive towards a high-performance culture which helps you to discover your true potential.
But let's not stop there. Let's keep on going to become the best. Together, we will create a lasting impression with the people we serve. Together, we will make great happen. Together, we progress. Join us by submitting your application today. At RHB, we strive towards making banking with us seamless, efficient and safe. We deliver these through RHB's complete and thorough solutions to customers. Here, we take pride in our people. It all starts with a team that cares. A workplace we call home. A team of dedicated individuals who go the extra mile. We offer accelerated growth and progression with focus on continuous learning experience coupled with regional mobility for holistic experience via our comprehensive talent management practice. We strive towards a high-performance culture that empowers you to deliver your true potential. We reward competitively, Appreciating and valuing performance, we work together in a team as one RHB. We are result-oriented and focused towards success. We put our customer first by understanding their needs. While it is true that banking products are similar, it's our people and their service that makes us stand out against the rest. That's right, your role here is bigger than you realize. Each and every one of you has something unique and amazing to offer. It's because of you and your consistent effort to make things better that has led us to where we are today.
I was an intern with RHB Banking Group 4 years ago. RHB is an ideal place for me to embark on my career journey. RHB is a place where you strive towards a high-performance culture which helps you to discover your true potential.
But let's not stop there. Let's keep on going to become the best.